Welcome to the No Name MMA Show, the best damn MMA podcast you've never heard of. Thank you for joining me on this lovely Sunday, November 21st, the week before Thanksgiving break. My name is Motivated Andy. Thank you for joining me. I don't know who saw what during yesterday. I watched a lot of it. However, I wanted to start off with fucking Corey Durden, Cody, whatever the fuck. The people that are defending this guy. I mean, come on, man. This is so clearly racist. I just don't see where people are saying, like, oh, people love to get offended. Yeah, because it's offensive shit. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here? That is so clearly racist. Yeah, I mean, and moving on from that, we'll I'm sure field other questions, but I was wrong. I was wrong about Miesha Tate. Hey, I was half wrong. She was very much in the best mental state, I think, and also physical state going into a fight. I truly do believe that. I think that she did make a lot of improvements going into this fight. She was moving her head. She was not backing away from Ketlen Vieira. Ketlen was just counter-punching the fuck out of her. The jab just never missed. The right hand never missed. Every single time. And you could have had that card 3-1 going into the fifth. I understood a 2-2, but some people were saying 3-1 for Miesha. I don't know about that. But Ketlen Vieira, she thoroughly beat Miesha Tate in the fifth round, I think, to secure that bet. Because had it been anybody else, I think it would have been. The fight was boring, but it was fine. It was whatever. What's happening, Juan? We also had Adrian fucking Yanez. Adrian Yanez going out there, beating fucking Davy Grant. Had like a fucking like pimple-sized fucking whatever the fuck on his ear. It was insane. Immediately getting called out by Sean O'Malley after the fight. I think, hey, a fight between Sean O'Malley and Adrian Yanez, I completely fuck with. Hey, I am making amends. I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? I think that the right person won. If you look at Miesha Tate, 49% finishing rate. Ketlen Vieira can't pull a trigger worth of shit. Miesha Tate is 35. She's coming back after 5 years and some change. You know what? At least it was exciting for me because I was like, all right, I was talking all this shit about Ketlen Vieira, right? The whole week I was like, yay, Miesha Tate's looking dope. So at least it was exciting for me. A lot of people were like throwing it away. I thought the fights were fine. I thought the fights were okay. I thought, it is what it is. We've had 3 amazing back-to-back, like, fucking main events. So for it to go from that to Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate, I thought it was fine. Sean Brady versus Chiesa. A lot of people were like, man, if that would have gone 5 rounds, I think it would have been just a competitive fight. I mean, at least Miesha going into it, she was very much trying. She was going in. Like, it could have been different if they were both shying away from each other. I think Sean O'Malley is a really bad matchup for Yanez. I think you're right. I think Yanez, his defense is lacking. It leaves me wanting more, and I think Sean O'Malley kind of tunes him up. Adrian Yanez is, and I just don't want after this fight, because he just beat Davey Grant, for him to get a ranked opponent. I would love, bantamweight is so deep that why are we pushing Yanez so early? He's so young. Yeah, he does it. He stays on the center line. He leaves his head open. But also, like, look what he does. Yeah, I think Adrian Yanez at this point, he just needs to develop. I think he will be a title contender down the line. I think it does need a... We need to wait. We need to wait and see a couple of years down the line how he's doing. Because if he goes out there right now, I think that Sean O'Malley has him. I really do. I think Adrian Yanez is one of those. Also, speaking about Adrian Yanez, he has 4 bonuses going into 4 fights in the UFC, which is crazy. He's on pace for some Justin Gaethje type shit. Even though Justin Gaethje, he had at one point like 5 fights and or 4 fights and I don't even know, 5 or 4, but he had like 9 bonuses because he was getting like 2, like a fight of the night and knockout of the night. So Adrian Yanez still is no fucking joke. Along with that, we had Khamzat Chimaev, who was wrestling fucking Jack Hermansson over in Sweden. Holy shit. Let me see if I can put this up right quick. But he was throwing around Jack Hermansson like it was no big fucking deal. It was insane. Let's see. Put the footage on. I'm trying to put it on. Let's see. Or not. I guess not. But let's do this. Or no. It won't let me do it. But he was throwing around, Khamzat Chimaev was throwing around Jack Hermansson like it was nobody's business immediately. The fight, I mean, there were still announcers. I don't even think it was like, hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? Ever even started. I think they just immediately got into it as soon as they were like, hey, they're about to wrestle. And within 8 seconds, not even 10, not even double digits, Khamzat just gets a trip or something and just throws fucking Jack Hermansson like it's nobody's business. Khamzat Chimaev is a wonder, and I am very, very... Every time we underestimate him, and he looked massive. He looked huge. That's the one thing that I don't get. He was fighting at 170, and then he goes and he wrestles Jack Hermansson, and he looks fucking so much bigger than him. Yeah, every time I see Khamzat Chimaev, every time my mouth is just open, and I just don't know what the fuck to do. I mean, he beat Jack Hermansson 8-0 in freestyle wrestling, and I just, how do you even deal with that? Yeah, you just can't underestimate him. I think if you do, I mean, underestimate him. At this point, like, you gotta call it what it is. Like, this guy is the dude that nobody wants to fight with, and I commend anybody that really is trying to like fuck with him in any kind of way, because he is a fucking problem. And I would love to see him versus Sean Brady. I know there's been rumblings of Khamzat versus Burns, but Khamzat versus Sean Brady, that would be fucking amazing at 170. Holy shit. Hey, what's going on? But yeah, no, you won't. Stop it. Why are you doing that one? Don't fuck them. But anyway, Khamzat has arrived and he's not going anywhere. Sean Brady, he continues his undefeated streak. He is now 15-0 5-0 in the UFC, I believe. I'm not sure. Yeah. So yeah, 5-0 in the UFC. He has the second longest winning streak behind Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman's at 15. Chiesa is now 4-2 in the division after moving up. Chiesa, at this point, I don't know. I think everybody was also trying to give Chiesa the right amount of credit. I mean, he is a veteran and he's very crafty, but I think it's a lot of I don't know, like, he needs to get in killer mode. He's having fun out there, fine. He was trying to show up Luque, fine, but now he needs to go out there and murder. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Thank you, Amy. But I think Chiesa needs to figure it the fuck out. His biggest wins are Diego Sanchez and Neil Magny, from my memory, I think. So we need to get it going at some point. I'll look up the rankings right now, but I mean, he's losing to Sean Brady, fine. He's losing to Luque, okay. These are very good losses in that division. But now, I mean, you have Jeff Neal, you have Li Jingliang, you have Ponzinibbio. I mean, you can't fight forward now. You can't say that I'm going to defend my spot when you've lost twice in a row. So, Hamzat's number 10, Bilal, Neal, Jorge, and then Stephen Thompson. You're not getting him. You're not getting Luque. You've already lost to him. Edwards, forget about it. Burns beats you. Covington beats you. Yeah, he beat RDA at 170, though. You know what I'm saying, Destroyer? It's just, it's different. But you're right, that is the best name, I guess. RDA still hasn't fought. I don't know what's going on with him. He needs to get something going. But now Chiesa, how do you keep him in the top 10? He just lost to number 14 Sean Brady. If it's me, I'm putting him at number 11 above Jeff Neal and Lee. But yeah, I just don't have any idea what to do with Michael Chiesa at this point. This was his time, but it is what it is. He just had surgery. Got you. Let's talk about the one finish. One finish in all the card. Talia Santos defeats Joanne Wood. So Joanne Wood now is 0-1. Joanne Calderwood, whatever the fuck. Santos has now earned 13 of her 19 wins by stoppage. She has a fucking problem. Wood has suffered all 4 of her career stoppages by first round submission, which is crazy. So it's almost like, just go out there, don't get submitted in the first round, and then you're good. You can keep on fucking going. So, yeah, first round, 4 minutes, 49 seconds in, rear naked choke. Santos was so impressive. And it highlights, like, does Santos have enough to challenge Valentina Shevchenko? I think there's a lot of people there at the moment, but she looks sensational. Needs a title shot? Maybe, yeah. I mean, she is the one that's the clearest in terms of the next one up. But you're right. Val by murder. It doesn't matter who it is. But yeah, I mean, she's doing what she needs to be doing, and she's doing it against the right people. It's crazy that Joanne, at one point, was, I can wait and get a fight with Valentina Shevchenko. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know anymore. Joanne Wood, now is on a 3-fight, 2-fight losing streak. I'm very interested to see how they actually go about it. I think it's just the influx of new talent coming in that's really putting these veterans in place and kind of showing them, like, hey, you got to really try, because, I mean, everybody's crafty and everybody's fucking dangerous. Let's talk about Adrian Yanez for a little bit. Adrian Yanez defeats David Grant. This is his first fight after his coach had passed away due to He is also tied for the fourth longest active streak in the division. He is behind Aljamain Sterling with 6, Merab Dvalishvili 6, and TJ Dillashaw 5. So that's fucking crazy. Lupita Godinez. Oh my god. Lupita Godinez, 42 days, 3 fights, 2-1. She's has like 4 fights in the UFC already, which is crazy. I think the first time I heard about her was like in September, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, Val is fucking insane. That would be dope. I would love to see that. I got Valentina by murder, but Moreno maybe, but Valentina by spy. Yeah. Lupita Godinez went out there. She did the fucking thing against Luma. Look on me. Hey, Luma, she is very game to fight, and she looked like she was very game. Lupita Godinez finally resorted to her wrestling, and she looked really fucking good. Hopefully, she takes her time. I love people getting short notice fights. I also like them winning. So it's one thing to go out there and accept everything and be the new Cowboy, the new Angela Hill, or whatever the fuck, but you gotta win. And if you don't win, then, I mean, it's just a gimmick that you end up losing because you're losing all these fights. But yeah, let's see. So we have Talia Santos, we have Sean Brady defeating Mike Chiesa. Let's go back to Corey the racist. He said that I knew he was going to be tough, but I had to send him back to China after the fight, to where the whole crowd was like moaning, and then even DC was just like, hey, takes the mic away from him. He's like, all right, later, goodbye. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm happy the fighters came out against him. Casey O'Neill said, fuck Corey. Julian Marquez called him a cunt. Hey, I mean, more things are being found on his Twitter and all his social media. I think he wasn't intentionally trying to be racist. I think it is racist, though. Having been told to go back to my country before, or whatever the fuck, it's racist. I think people need to come to terms with what racist is. It's xenophobic comments. It's a nuance to it. Like, come on, we're fucking adults. We can read between the lines. It's fucking racist. Some of the outlets that were covering it, it's like controversial comments. And it's like, no, it's racist comments. Like, that is... And the biggest thing is, like, people defending the dude that I have an issue with. Like, why are you defending him? Why? Just leave him alone. Let him dig his own grave. You don't have to defend this piece of trash. Yet people are like, oh, people love to get offended and shit like that. And I'm like, what? But then he's talking about Asian people, how when they're looking pregnant, they look like they're holding Dragon Balls or some shit. I get it, but he's an adult. Like, and the thing is, like, the UFC won't do anything about this. They just won't. They don't care. It's not their MO. Like, they don't worry about trying to kind of sort this shit out. They just use hey, they're independent contractors. They can have their own rights or whatever. We're very pro-speech. But one thing is being pro-speech and another thing is being, like, flat out racist. And that was racist. Don't defend somebody who's racist, guys. Come on. Don't do it. And more people have been digging into his Twitter, into his Instagram and everything else and finding even worse shit that he said. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to end up making him seem like oh, poor, whatever the fuck. He's not racist. He was just misunderstood. Like, come on, guys. All Washington fighters, I think, on the card failed to win yesterday. So Miesha Tate, Washington fighter, she failed to win. Chiesa failed to win. Terrence McKinney, he wasn't able to actually fight because of COVID. And then I think Sam Harris, she also lost her fight. Yeah, But that's pretty much it in terms of MMA fighting news. Does anybody have any questions? Destroyer said Lee versus Santos for a title eliminator would make sense. Andrea KGB Lee, I mean, that's a great fucking fight. I think it's at a fantastic. Andrea Lee is coming back to form. Santos is looking like a killer. Yeah, that would be an amazing matchup. Another thing that I'll note is everybody that was complaining about this fight as a main card, we can't have the same attitude of, hey, we need better women's fights, and then in the same token be like, oh, they don't deserve a main event. We need women's fighting to be promoted as a whole so we can then ask for better product. We're constantly bitching about Valentina Shevchenko being so far and above everybody else. But we have to make it to the point where women want to fight. If we see nothing but Valentina Shevchenko murdering people, nobody's going to want to do this. They're going to be like, oh yeah, no, we're going to end up facing Valentina Shevchenko in 3 years and we're going to get murdered. We got to promote from within. We got to funnel more talent into there so we can develop it and promote it from within. Why are we still holding on to these tropes of only the best? You have to create it. Before there was women fights and Ronda Rousey and all this shit, there was nothing. So the UFC went out of their way to create this for women to become more involved. I mean, the Ultimate Fighter with Rose Namajuanis and Carla Esparza. That's the kind of shit that you need to do. So why are we not doing 145 Ultimate Fighter? Or I think the next one up for the Ultimate Fighter is a women's division, I think 135 and also heavyweight, which I think is needed. But yeah, I think, yeah, we just need to be investing more into the UFC as a whole. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Ketlen Vieira defeats Miesha Tate. Washington Fighters, Terrence McKinney, Hamza Chimaev. I was wrong about Miesha Tate. That guy was racist. That's all the news that we had planned to go over. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? I'm chilling here for an hour, regardless. We're going to be doing this whole thing. Hard, long-lasting, pain. Am I being soft? Was that guy not being racist? Am I a snowflake? Not gonna lie, it was... I'm a very self-loathing, dark dude, so it was fucked, but it was definitely racist. What's going on, Todd Atkins show? That is very true. Listen, he can blame it on his upbringing. I think another thing that rubs me the wrong way is his half-hearted apology. How he was, I'm sorry that you got offended by my comments. I think that's the thing that gets me the most. Like, what do you mean? They were racist comment. Like, this again, self-awareness was just one of those like really weird things where really nobody, like, you don't hear the groans in the audience. You don't see like DC shy away from you. It's just, I don't know, very unself-aware, very just kind of sad. And then he just like defends himself. It's just it's awkward at best, and then it's just sad in all terms, like by everybody. Luckily for the UFC, this card will not be remembered by anybody. This card will be, it'll always be, remember when Glover, we saw Kamaru Usman beat Covey, and then we saw fucking Yair Rodriguez and Holloway, like in a span of 3 weeks? That's what we'll remember. And then this will fall on the wayside. I think he was trying to angle for a fight with Jose Molina, but Molina's gonna beat that ass because this dude shouldn't have even won this fight. Let's see. Cody Durden. That's the dude's name. Oh, wait. Let's see. His response. Okay. Listen, the guy was disrespectful, and this is on his Twitter. The guy wouldn't shake my hands at weigh-ins. After beating him, I simply meant he could go home or whatever that were. I simply meant he could go home wherever that may have been. I apologize if I offended anybody. That certainly was not my intention. I love you all. See you at the top. What a fucking cringy, stupid little man. Like, ugh. I just don't get it. So because he's disrespectful, you're being racist? After beating him, I simply meant he could go home wherever that may have been. Like, what kind of logic is that? And the whole thing was like, oh yeah, I was raised in the trailer park fighting. Like, I was raised in the trailer park fighting, and I'm not being a racist piece of shit, so I don't get it. Second worst card I've ever seen in the UFC. To be honest, I was so high I was drifting in and out of naps, and I ended up waking up just in time for... I heard and saw different things throughout the fight. I was like falling asleep in front of the fights, so I kind of remember it going along, but I wasn't paying attention like that. His response is kind of invalid when you see his previous racist tweets. Oh yeah, I mean, it's just so many racist tweets, bro. And my thing is, all the people that were defending him leading up to this and now digging into it, it's like, you were defending that. Like, why? Why did you even bother defending that? There was no reason to defend that. There was no reason, no regard, no nothing for why this guy should have been defended. All you have to do is just like, hey, that's racist, and then that's it. It's ended there. You call it as it is, and then you move the fuck on. In terms of the second worst card I've ever seen in UFC, probably. I mean, I think somebody was saying that there was 11 fights. Out of those 11, there was 10 decisions. The one lone finish was Santos. The UFC stuff like that, and it'd be like that. But let's keep that same energy whenever it's like next Saturday and we're waiting for the next card to show up, and now it's like, oh yeah, we don't have any live fights. I would love for us to get a decision fight with somebody else. It's unfortunate, but not every card is going to be a banger, you know? But I still very much enjoyed it for what I did experience. Watching... There was... Let me look at the results. Sabatini, that fight was really fucking good. Nathan Levy was really good. I was looking forward to Lupita Godinez, and she ended up winning. Pinheiro against Sam Hughes, I was really looking forward to. Adrian Yanez versus Davey Grant was amazing. Ronnie Yaya gets it done, being old as shit. Santos with a quick finish. Sean Brady and Michael Chiesa was a very, challenging fight. And then Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate. As much as I will doubt myself, and then I will admit that it wasn't the most competitive fight, which, if you looked at the stats, it probably wasn't going to be. And I was completely wrong. I really enjoyed that fight. I thought it was Miesha Tate was very on point. She looked really, really good in the exchanges, a lot better than she has before. Do I think she'll ever win? No. Do I think she'll end up getting a title shot? probably if she gets like 3 more wins, she'll get another title shot. Ketlen Vieira, she needs to pull the trigger. She needs to fucking go. She cannot be waiting for people to fight her. She needs to actually go in and do the damn thing. But yeah, Ketlen Vieira looked really fucking good, and at the very end, Miesha Tate's face was all like a bundle of like ground beef. So, despite her being in the best shape of her life, which I really truly think so, Ketlen Vieira gets a narrow decision victory. And somebody had sent me a message earlier where they were putting like $1,000 down just to get like $130 back. And I think they put it on Vieira, which I'm happy. But yeah, I think this is why the fight for me was so entertaining, because there's so much pressure for Miesha Tate to win and go out there and actually do the damn thing, that her failing so spectacularly like this, it just goes to show, like, you put your eggs into one basket, it could be such a bad look. And Miesha Tate just ended up on a one-sided affair on yesterday, Saturday, and now, she's still only 2 fights back, but now what do you do? The division now just looks worse. And if she would have gone out there and gotten the finish, then she would have gotten the fight, but I just don't know anymore. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the show. I don't have anything else to say. Nobody's giving me any questions. We'll do the questions. We'll do the thing. Send me anything else. We looked at Hamza. We looked at everything else. We talked about the racist dude. Let's see. Talked about the results. There is a guy that is 0-5 in the UFC. He is the first one to ever do it. Let's see. Right, yeah. Let's go. Where's the 0-5 guy? There we go. Sean Soriano. Sean Soriano is winless. He has been in the UFC 2 times. First time he was 0-3 between 2014 and 2015, and now he is 0-2 since his return back in May. He is the 3rd fighter in UFC history to start 0-5, which is fucking insane. Sam Hughes, I think she is from North Carolina. She is 0-3 in the UFC. And this is the first career loss via decision. But that's pretty much it for the fights this weekend. There's not going to be much else. I'm going to look up at the schedule right quick to see if there's going to be anything different. There's a fight November 26th. I think that is Thanksgiving weekend. 1 Championship Next Gen, number 3. And then after that, it's the first week of December. We come back. UFC Fight Night 44, Rob Font versus Jose Aldo. And that one has all the marbles built in for a bantamweight fight. This is probably going to be the next one up for the next one after the fight with TJ Dillashaw and Petr Yan, or Petr Yan against Aldo, or whatever the fuck ends up happening. We then have Brad Riddell against Rafael Fiziev. They're both 10-1, so that's going to be really fucking fun. We also have the rescheduling of Jimmy Crute against Jamil Hill. That's going to be fucking dope. And we also have Manuel Cape against Algaz Zamugulov. Zamugulov, he has that really weird phrase, but I think he's also from Dagestan. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I'll see you guys December 4th, and I'll try to release some stuff in between now and then to keep you guys occupied. Thank you guys for joining us on the best damn MMA podcast you've never heard of, the No Name MMA Show. My name is Motivated Andy. As always, invest in your mental health. Fuck you, John Jones, who apparently is 60 days sober. okay. Still fuck you. And yeah, talk at you guys next week. See you. Have a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If you don't, have a good whatever the fuck. And if you don't have that, then I don't know, make a mud pie and eat it and stick it up your ass. I don't know. I don't know. Do something with your life. Love you guys. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.